I'm big time into like crypto and everything like that. So
Awesome.
I don't know if you know who I am from Pitch and everything like that. I'm actually one of the co-founders.
Okay. Very cool.
All right. So here we go. All right. So for those of you that don't know, you guys are watching Pitch Investors Live right now. We're actually having an event called the Pitchathon. So the Pitchathon is basically it's a event where we're having massive amounts of pitches happening all in one day. We're breaking our own records. We're possibly setting a record for the most amount of pitches in a 24-hour period. Myself, I am one of the co-founders, and I think I lost connection right now. So I am one of the co-founders of the company, and I am also the I think we just lost our man right here.
Hello, you there?
There we go. He's back. Okay. Cool. All right. So let's see. There you are. You're back. Okay.
Cool.
So
the app crashed on me out of nowhere.
Yeah. I don't know why. It was like you're turning it and it crashed. So anyways, we're back. So I'm explaining. So I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've had over like 22 companies, invested in a couple of companies. I invest mostly into like tech, e-commerce. I've had a lot of my success in the e-commerce realm and everything like that. And, we're going to be setting up a venture capital fund that is going to be investing in emerging technologies, like artificial intelligence, genetics, blockchain. Obviously, we love cryptocurrencies and everything like that. We believe it's definitely part of the future. And there's some really exciting stuff going on. So basically here at Pitch, we're here to change the landscape of how entrepreneurs get in front of investors, just like you're doing right now.
Absolutely. Excited to be here.
Yeah. We have literally like the people that are taking pitches today have probably up to billions of dollars worth of money potential in their networks to invest into projects and everything like that. So it's a pretty exciting day for us. We're probably going to end up doing this more often because it's pretty good. Like people have been able to pitch several times, and I'm definitely very much looking forward to hearing what you got going on. So go ahead and give me a little bit of your elevator pitch so I can hear more about your project.
Yeah, absolutely. So SimulPass is the world's first decentralized single sign-on. It's kind of the highest level. We're built on the Lightstream's network blockchain that's just coming up. It's a side chain of Ethereum. And so we're actually set up to be a full partner on their network, host a validator node license, and kind of all the check marks that you want to hear about on the security protocol. But before I kind of talk anything more, I do just kind of always like to talk a bit about the team. I hold a master's in data analytics. My CTO holds a master's in cybersecurity, and our COO comes from a background in healthcare, which you'll understand why that's important for us in just a couple of seconds here. Yeah. And so kind of what we look at is kind of there's this very kind of massive opportunity in regards to how people actually connect to the internet. And so kind of the way that over the stats out there are basically over 80% of platforms use one of three different accounts to log into, being either your LinkedIn, your Facebook, or your Google account. And so, like, there's this whole thing about how Apple is just trying to enter the space as, like, and now they're requiring, like, if you have third-party sign-on, you have to allow for, like, sign-in with Apple. And they're pitching it as, like, theirs is the one for privacy. But they're still built on a centralized network. I don't know about you, but I still don't trust Apple after my iCloud account was hacked a couple of years ago. So, like, I don't really believe this whole, like, Apple is for privacy thing that they've been marketing themselves on for a while.
None of these social platforms, man. None of these.
Yeah.
See, there's a new documentary just came out, The Great Hack. Watch that thing, man. Watch that. You're okay. That. Yeah.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
So basically, you seem familiar kind of with the whole concept of decentralization, but for kind of everyone else out there watching for us, basically this eliminates the concept of having a single point of failure. There is no way to actually hack into our network. The only way to ever actually gain access to anybody else's information or files is to literally have their password. So we kind of overcome one of those big hurdles in regards to kind of why people are hesitant to share information through these platforms. And so then kind of the unique thing about the blockchain we're built on is it's permissioned. So actually every person that you're connected with has actually a relationship to you. So it's okay, let's say you and I connect. It's a dynamic relationship. So, right now we're kind of casual friends. We have a nice little rapport going on right now, enjoying each other's company. But, maybe down the line, maybe even 10 minutes, you decide to throw us some money. And so then, he's no longer just a casual acquaintance. He's a colleague. So I can share more information with him. And then kind of you get into all the like file storage stuff. So like with due diligence, data vaults, like once you kind of reach that tier being, okay, he's an investor. one-click access rather than even just on kind of like the Dropbox Google Drive system where it is still, okay, you have to share into it, establish a new relationship. There's no way to exactly share anything with anybody you have going on right now. But kind of what we're looking at actually as our first kind of target vertical to launch in is we're just looking at it as a networking concept. And kind of the reason we want to start there is just because the whole value and reason that kind of Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google are able to command themselves kind of as the leaders in the market is because they offer value to users on their platforms first. So it's not just like, oh, I just use that to log in for everything, but like, what the heck is SimulPass actually? So SimulPass, we want to be your check-in service for everything you do. But what our platform actually looks like right now is it kind of looks like a social media platform. So very, very much so, like if you look at Google and Gmail, Facebook and their entire suite, and LinkedIn, there's all these platforms that people actually are on. So you kind of actually log in and like have value from the actual brand that they're choosing to log in with. And so basically, we take away kind of all the negative sides of social media. So we eliminated the gamification. There's no liking, no posting, none of that. We take away all the social anxiety because there is no more social comparison. And because we're decentralized, there's actually no way for us to steal their data. And so kind of when you look at that, it's like, oh, wait, that's what networking online should be, rather than kind of this whole like back and forth of, all right, who has access to my data? With us, you have complete control over who has access to anything at any given point. And then the actual like consumer use cases, we have our version of like what we considered Facebook events. Ours is much more focused around like actually valid RSVPs. So we have some accountability metrics in place to actually ensure that when you say you're going to show up at something, you get penalized if you don't. Basically the same way that Uber and Lyft do it, where it's just a customer rating system. And kind of as they've shown, people for whatever reason do actually care about it. So we're kind of implementing that same metric. And then everything else is kind of focused around just these consumer networking sides. So the segmentation concept that I was talking to you about before, we employ that through lists. So like, all right, different parts of my network get different pieces of information. Then we have kind of a way to share information with multiple people at once through organizations, which is again comparable to Facebook groups, just without kind of anything in regards to the actual social media components. Then kind of, yeah, that's a really interesting comment. I agree with you actually.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of people do spend a ton of time talking about this, but it's massively important.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. So, are you going to be doing anything with identity, or that you just want to be basically? So you will be doing stuff with identity.
Yeah, you got it. Absolutely. Yeah, we're building out to actually be a social identity blockchain. So kind of I don't know how familiar you are with the space, but we're going to be compatible with Microsoft's DID platform and all of that. So basically everything you use to store with us integrates kind of with what's becoming the industry standard. And then you'll actually be able to literally just show your SimulPass QR code. Say you want to check into the gym, check into a concert, all of that, we're building into all of these native APIs. So that's not even actually adding anything new. We're just playing the ball game to get to as many people as quickly as possible.
And with SimulPass, like, okay, so pretend I had SimulPass, right? So if I had it, and I want to get into the gym, or I want to get into a different platform, like, are you having to form partnerships with them? Like, are you going to be kind of like almost like LastPass a little bit? Are you familiar with like LastPass?
Yeah, I'm familiar with LastPass. Yeah, very similar. LastPass is more focused actually on I'm thinking of MultiPass. MultiPass is the co-working focused one. LastPass is just the password storage system.
Yeah, it's just the password storage. It's basically like a highly encrypted, like one that goes on your mobile device and, desktops and everything like that. A lot of people are using to keep things safe and everything. Can you tell me like the differentiations, between?
Yeah. Absolutely. Whereas LastPass is kind of a storage system for all of your existing passwords, we become your login for everything, and then any information you need to share. So, like, let's say you're setting up a Spotify account for the first time, and so this is where it'll get interesting for you, kind of if you're interested in e-commerce. Like, as you go through the sign-up process to sign up for Spotify, it's literally just field selection. It's kind of like an evolution of autofill, rather than kind of something, okay, I have to fill in all these fields with my billing address, shipping address, or Spotify wouldn't have a shipping address, but credit card info. We actually store all of that. So as you're going through that sign up and checkout process, it's literally just, all right, I want to share my name, address, and my credit card that rewards the highest rate for streaming services on this platform. And so that's part of on the consumer monetization side, we actually help them, we automatically pick what is the best card for their rewards rates. So that's part of the consumer B2C. And then
does that come up automatically? As soon as, so pretend I'm a customer, right? And I'm going in through the checkout process of an e-commerce website. will it automatically just come up and fill it out, or will something pop up and then I have to tell it what to?
So it's it'll be like, so like let's say you're buying something from UnderArmour.com. Just take that as an example. So it'll be create an account or sign up with SimulPass, and then it'll be, what do you need? Like, Under Armour is requesting access to this information to complete the transaction. Do you choose to share this information? And so it's like, okay, actually, no, I don't want to use that address because this is actually a gift for someone. So I'm using this because I have all of my contacts information stored within SimulPass as well. I can just choose, yeah, I'm going to send this gift to him with that address that I have immediately available. I attach my billing address. I attach all of my, like, the account details, like name, phone number, my personal email, all of that, and then it's done. Sorry, last step being the credit card, just to actually attach that, where all of your credit cards are stored up with us as well, and it is just selecting a credit card to use.
Got it. So let's talk about some money really quickly. Have you guys raised money? Are you bootstrapping? Like, in what round?
We're largely bootstrapped right now. We've for the most we've raised a couple of different grants, more than any sort of like venture capital or angel funding. We have $3,000 in outside money in right now. We've won about $20,000 through kind of various pitch competitions and grants.
Oh, cool.
Bootstrapped. Yeah. So we generally get received pretty well. Yeah. And we've bootstrapped about another $15K. We have a couple of guys that are hopefully closing with us in the next month or so. Hopefully, our goal is $200,000. Basically, we think that will help us reach our kind of scale on our networking vertical, so that we can actually go ahead into kind of the big money space, being healthcare. Whereas we'll actually be able to eliminate kind of the vast majority of patient portals, where we'll become a single sign-on. So, like, let's say you have a general practitioner, an orthopedist, and you go to a hospital. You'll now use the same login for all of those, and your entire medical history will be stored across them. And because of a partnership we have with a company based in St. Louis, where we are, called HIPAA Complete, we're actually HIPAA compliant, basically immediately.
Interesting. Are you familiar with the project called YouPort? Like, are you guys familiar with that? Like, they were doing identity stuff actually through Ethereum, through what's it called? So basically a company that facilitates a bunch of different apps and everything like that. Oh, what's the name? I can't even think about it right now. But basically, you should look up YouPort. So basically, they're working with like a lot of identity stuff and everything like that. So let me look up YouPort.
Yeah, I'm looking them up too right now.
YouPort returns identity. Yeah. So basically,
I can understand what. They're more on the, like, they're just looking like kind of a fraud prevention platform, fraud prevention, identity theft prevention platform more than anything else. But I think kind of like the whole goal for us is like, we really want to be the last platform people ever need to sign on or sign up with. And kind of just, we think we kind of had like this whole kind of internal debate of, do we want to try to build credibility and work our way up? So like, just start networking and then go into another like less secure space like events, or we can kind of put out this like social media-esque without the social media stuff platform, and then actually launch the medical side at the same time. So if we start in the space of being associated with the information that people care about the most, that's considered the most sensitive, and actually work our way down.
Yeah, because we can make it through that one, and then you go into the other industries and be like, okay, we've already done the medical one, so if they trust us, we could definitely, be able to do this in, gaming or whatever the hell it might be, Interesting. Yeah, cool. So you guys are looking right now to raise $200,000, and what are you guys basically? Do you guys have an evaluation, or what kind of raise are you doing right now?
We're raising mostly on a safe right now. Kind of if there was the right partner, we'd consider going ahead and raising on a pure equity number. But we're generally raising on a safe with a $3 million cap and a 20% discount.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then, what's your current burn rate? Are you guys kind of like all just like bootstrapping it, and like no one's really getting paid?
Yeah, we're all bootstrapping it. No one's taking a salary right now. Basically, we're saying we'll take absolute minimum salary should we be able to raise the $200K. Like, none of us are gonna be taking more than like 20, 30K a year. And so we've got the kind of 3 people that I mentioned right at the beginning of our conversation, and then our CPO as well, who basically handles all of our product stuff. Who's got a master's in design, basically.
Yeah. And what would you guys do with this too? Like, what's the plans? Like, at least give me a little synopsis of what you guys would do with the 200,000. Like, what do you?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, we're about 2.5 months from launch at this point, and so we're just kind of trying to start scaling up all of our infrastructure, be able to really get after the market. The way we have it set up for like spend is we're going to spend about $60,000 on marketing, hire two sales representatives at base salaries of $25K per year, then a commission structure on the way from there. Because basically and then the rest of it is actually to go ahead and build our healthcare platform and all of our kind of like our API calls that basically have to interact with the existing EHR system. So like Epic and Cerner and all scripts in them. Basically, we have to customize our interface to actually be able to write and pull from all of their existing databases. And so in order to be able to do that, that's just going to take pretty substantial dev resources.
Yeah.
And,
do you guys already have the devs, or you guys don't have the devs yet?
We have two other devs on our team as well. One's a true full stack engineer. One's really an Android specialist. So we're hoping to add one more like full stack engineer to our team who will be like 60-hour a week type of guy. So basically, so one more guy for basically 100K is kind of the going rate for kind of a top tier developer right now. For that, then 40K just to actually kind of reach out. Sorry, 50K basically to go reach out, hire our two sales reps who are gonna kind of go after all these like doctors' offices and hospitals to kind of get our medical platform out in there, and then the last just as our marketing budget.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so this is my synopsis. Just quickly, have you done any pitches before this one, by the way, like on our platform, or this is your first one?
This is the first one on the platform.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a lot of people. It'd be actually pretty cool. Like one person that would be pretty cool to talk to would actually be Matt. Like he would understand, like he knows like on a deeper level, like all this stuff and everything like that. And I'm coming from like the front end side, right? So one of the things that I've done, having 22 companies, working with 500 different companies, being an investor in a few companies and advisor to a few companies. Like one of the things that I would say that you could definitely work on that would help out, because like even me that I grasp the crypto stage and I understand the blockchain world and everything, is that there needs to be a shorter way to explain exactly what you do. So you got to basically bring it down into a story that is like way more understandable. You know what I mean? Like I had to ask a lot of questions to kind of figure out what you're doing. So imagine other people, right? So you want to get other people excited, though you may be looking for investors that understand the space a lot further and everything like that. But to bring it down into that. And then one of my next questions is like, what gives you guys basically a $3 million valuation right now? Like, what would you say would give you guys, having it at the cap there, potentially larger? How did you guys come up with that number and how?
Yeah, so we have that on a 2-year delayed safe. So it'll convert 2 years from now, kind of standard on that. And then basically, if we don't successfully raise at a valuation, that falls back onto a $1 million valuation. So like, we don't raise any other money. Anybody who comes in at that round would end up with a much more sizable portion of the company. But kind of why we have it set up for $3 million is we basically just ran kind of your general revenue and profit numbers on where we think we can be 2 years from now, and we're projecting around $600K in revenue and kind of about $200,000 to $300,000 in profit from that, and kind of a 10x multiple is pretty standard in the industry from profit.
Yeah, and what do you do? Like, do you have a regular job, or what were you doing before this yourself?
I was a product manager at Capital One.
Nice. And now you're like, bye, Capital One. I'm going to crypto. What's funny is like every time I go to a bank, I actually literally talk to the bank on like how they're basically, it's no longer going to exist anymore, right? Like I had that conversation with them and like tell them about cryptocurrencies, how is Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, blockchain is changing the way that business is done. And they're just like, they don't get it. They don't even know what's coming. They will be initiating blockchain. They're getting smart. They understand it, but it takes us like the smaller fish to basically move and adapt faster so that we can basically have a head start and an advantage, right? So yeah, cool. All right, man. So this is probably not something that I would currently invest in, but I would love for you actually to talk to my business partner so that he could check it out, because he loves the tech stuff. He actually has some connections with Ethereum itself. Including that project that I just told you about. Like one of his like really good friends is basically the guy that runs it. They're doing cool stuff. It's not what it seems like online. There's a lot more going on and encompassing it. So there's some really cool stuff happening in that space whatsoever. So like I'm probably gonna see if we can get a connection point and I can like connect you with him just so you guys can have something to talk about. So there's a nice connection and stuff like that for you guys, man. But I like it. I definitely think that it's like the trust is not there. I mean, go check out anyone that's watching too. There's a documentary that just came out from a girl basically called Brittany Kaiser. I've spoken to her a few times. So basically she was the whistleblower for She was the whistleblower for Cambridge Analytica and Facebook scandal. Okay. So like it just came out like a few days ago, badass documentary, which you could even talk to people about when you're doing the pitch, because it shows how Facebook is just like what they're doing is unbelievable. You know what I mean? And these companies like Cambridge Analytica are just taking our data, you know what I mean, in so many different ways. And like, that's something that is a big risk. So what you're doing,
that's the importance of decentralized identity stuff. Like,
dude,
that's why you need a decentralized single sign-on.
Yeah, and for us to own our damn data, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude. Yeah, so that's really cool, and that it's like decentralized on the blockchain. I mean, I'm a big proponent of that, big time. So yeah, cool idea. And I love that you're not just trying to go after the whole entire market, because some people come in and they're like, okay, I want to conquer the market. Like, cool, that could be the vision, you know, but like, how do we conquer it on a smaller level? And that you're going into medical. Which I would say it is a little risky too, because if you mess that up, it could have problems. So, I mean, another thing could be that you may want to enter into a space that potentially is not as risque to do some testing on and then getting into there. But if you guys do it right, that'll open the doors to like all these other industries, right? So
that's kind of why we're putting out the like not a social media platform app first, and then actually making sure that everything's in place before we kind of go actually putting out any of the medical clients live, for sure.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, man, no, great pitch. Let's get in contact and such. You can contact, I don't know who brought you in, if it was Diana or Diani or Asia, but just like get in contact with one of us, and then I'll like connect you with my business partner so we can hear more about this and might have some.
Yeah, so just you're saying just like email the person that
they got you in, whoever got you into the platform, you know, and that you know, you can always find me also on Facebook and send me a message. It'll go into others though, and like just look up Jonathan Foltz, Foltz. Just look me up, and then you can send me a message there too. So yeah, man, good luck with your project, dude. You know, looking forward
to
create.
Appreciate it.
Have a great one.
Yeah.
Yep. Take it easy.
Have a good one.
Yep. Thanks.
Thanks.